For a lot of casual Doctor Who fans, you will know of the Doctor Who movie that came out in the 90s with Paul Mcganns as the Doctor. But what if I told you there were two Doctor Who films before this that casual New Who fans won't really know about? In today's video, I'm talking about the Doctor Who Peter Cushing movies. Now, these films aren't canon to actual Doctor Who. For one, the Doctor isn't just called the Doctor is called Doctor Who. The Doctor also isn't a Time Lord, which I genuinely kind of like. As a new Who fan, mainly going back and watching classic Who, there's a lot of canon to get into and a lot of stuff that you've got to wrap your head around, where here it's a clean slate. You don't have to worry about him being a Time Lord, what's going on. You just have to know that he's an inventor. But of course, the titular villain for these films are the Daleks. What I love about these Daleks set and everything about this film is it holds up incredibly well. The Daleks look beautiful, and some of these were actually used in the real Doctor Who show because they ran out of Daleks and didn't have enough spare. They were also a massive inspiration for the design of the new Dalek paradigm, having the bigger base skirts. Now, these films were at the height of something called Dalek Mania, and they're great. Some of the cinematography and iconography of these films are genuinely exquisite. There is something that even New Who fans can enjoy. They're great films that you don't have to worry about canon, you don't have to worry about anything like that. They're just genuinely fun. Now, there were two films made with the Peter Cushing Doctor, The Doctor Who and the Daleks, and Daleks Invasion of Earth 2050 AD. I'm very aware that a lot of people don't know about these two films, so I'm very apprehensive about revealing details about the plot and talking about stuff like that. But I also know a lot of people have seen these films, but I'd highly recommend them. If you want a fun Dalek story, then these are for you. If you want to see a young Bernard Cribbins run across your screen, the second Dalek movie is for you.
Daleks? Take the prisoners to the spaceship! Move!
For any fan that really enjoys the Daleks, these stories are definitely for you. They center around the Daleks as the main villain, and they definitely play into that Dalek Mania vibes. Some of the most iconic Dalek scenes come from this film. Some of the most iconic Dalek characterization come from these films, and a lot of you probably wouldn't have known that. Now, I must say, Peter Cushing's performance in this film as the Doctor is genuinely incredible. If somehow you don't know who Peter Cushing is, Peter Cushing played Grand Moff Tarkin in Star Wars. Yeah, that one. And he is great in this film, and I'm so sad we didn't get him in as a mainstay Doctor, and this film isn't technically canon to the Doctor Who universe. Now, a lot of people argue that everything Doctor Who related is canon to the Doctor Who universe, which I don't agree with, and it's a lot better going into this film thinking that everything isn't canon, because this film is genuinely enjoyable if you forget about the rest of Doctor Who. I would genuinely like to argue that these movies have one of the best adaptations of the Daleks ever. They are some of the scariest Daleks ever, not only due to budget, but due to how good the story quality is, and the actors. The actor who plays Susan is a young girl here, and she flushes out the character so well, and you can tell when she's scared, and it's great. It's sometimes maybe with classic Who, the acting was maybe a bit lacking, where here, it's not. And if you can get over that this is an older movie, then you're genuinely going to enjoy it, and that's for newer fans. Saying that though, I feel like newer fans might even enjoy this more than Classic Who, because again, it's paced a bit more quickly than Classic Who. Classic Who's pacing is completely off if you're a New Who fan and a fan of newer television. If you're a Classic Who fan, Classic Who's fine. But with these movies, I genuinely think New Who fans will enjoy it. If you haven't heard of these films before, I'd highly recommend watching them. They've sort of made a resurgence in the past couple of years, which I'm so glad about, because I feel like a lot of people didn't know about these films, and now it's doing itself justice, because these films are genuinely incredible. The Daleks look incredible, Peter Cushing is incredible, the actress who plays Susan is incredible, everybody in this film is incredible, and of course you've got Bernard Cribbins in the second film, which is just great. But yeah, maybe this is a bit of Doctor Who that you didn't know existed. The two Dalek movies that came out at the height of Dalek Mania. Something which I find a really interesting period of the show. where the Daleks were probably at the most popular apart from New Who. And it's great to see them in movie form. Something that my gripe is with the Doctor Who movie is that the Daleks sort of get shunned, they get a name reference, and the rest is focused on the Master. But I think the Daleks are made for big screen. I genuinely think a big screen Dalek movie made now would do well, and it would be a really good film. So seeing these two films, when I discovered them, were great, and I loved them. And I'm loving that fans of New Who now are finding these films, and I think it's the best time to talk about this film. So please let me know in the comments what you think of this film, if you've watched it, or if you're going to watch it now. Because I love these films, and I think they deserve a lot more love than they're currently getting.